What's going on, everyone? It's Bales and welcome back to another AFL fantasy video on the channel. So today it's Wednesday, and every Wednesday throughout the season we're going to be doing a video, and it's essentially just trade talk. So we're going to be going through the most popular ins and outs from what coaches are doing with their trades, and also going through some trade targets for you guys and who I would be targeting if I was in different positions. But yeah, this video is brought to you by AFL Fantasy for... Oh no, I don't like that start either. What's going on, everyone? It's Bales and welcome back to another video on the channel. So today we got another AFL fantasy video for you, and every Wednesday throughout the season I'll be doing a trade talk video, so talking about the most popular ins and outs and really the good trade targets of the week that I think will be guys that you should have on your radar. So this video is brought to you by AFL Fantasy Fanatics. So me and Tim Guest, we do Twitter Spaces every Sunday night after the final game of the round. Obviously there'll be some Monday games, but we also do them on Friday afternoon before the Friday lockout hits. Tim will join whenever he can, but I'll be there every Friday getting some coaches on to answer your questions. So make sure you tune into those. Follow us on Twitter at AFL Fantasy Fans, and also go and follow the podcast wherever you podcast. So let's get stuck into the trade talk. So the most popular in this week is Cade Chandler. Not a surprise. 104 last week. I think a lot better than anyone could have anticipated him doing. I think it was 16 disposals. It was like 7 marks and 8 tackles, I believe it was. Let's actually have a quick look just to say, well, I am getting it right here. So yeah, 8 marks, 7 tackles, so other way around. But yeah, very good game from him. 104. Yeah, he went up 60k, break even negative 27. Obviously, with the news yesterday that Christian Salem, Stephen May, Jack Viney and Bailey Fritsch are all in line potentially to return for Friday night's game against Brisbane, that puts a little bit of a flag on his job security. I think he played too well, though, to be dropped. So I think he's bought himself at least a fortnight, and that could be why Cozzy Pickett's suspended. That could be while Cozzy Pickett is suspended. So even if that's the case, he makes a quick 100k, he's going to be 360, even maybe more, and he could hold his spot. But even worst case scenario, he makes 100k, you downgrade and you make yourself 150k, and then that can go on top of a rookie or in pricer and get you a better player. So I think it's worth it. You've got a few different situations. If you've got like I know Shucker's got like a Miller, for example. I've got a Tom Powell. A few people got F5 that maybe didn't quite do what they wanted, or they've got a rookie on their bench like a Fergus Green or a Noah Long that you can go up to Chandler. So plenty of ways to get him in, but I do like him as an option this week. Tom Green, 6.2k coaches have brought him in, and yeah, he looked fantastic against the Crows on Sunday. I saw it firsthand. Not firsthand, I was a Crows fan. I saw him playing against my team, and he was fantastic. He's everywhere. He got the marks. He was the second highest tackle on the ground as well, which was impressive on such a hot day of 35 degrees. Yeah, you need to get him in. I think he's such a good option if you can. Break even to 65, West Coast this week. He could go big again, and he could be over, well, he probably will be over 800k next week. So very good option there. Bodie Uland, he's a tricky one. So 3.5k coaches have brought him in. I know Urban from Hat Chat's his boy. Is he going to hold his spot? So Lockie Weller is ready to return. Will Powell is, I think, 1 or 2 weeks away. He could play VFL potentially this week and maybe a few weeks. Brandon Ellis, where's he? There's not really an update where he is. Sean Lemons is only a week or 2 away. So his job security is definitely not secure like a few of these other rookies, like for example, like your big rookies like your Sheasels, your Ashcrofts, your Ginbys, Mackenzies, guys like that. He's not locked in like that, but he's not a bad option if we don't have anything else. So I don't mind him. He's got what's his break even? So I think he's break even? Yeah, -4. So he will make some cash, and I guess he could play him at D6. He's probably going to score better than those guys there. So definitely an option to consider, but job security is just the flag I'd consider. Nick Dacos, I love the pick, 3.5k, but not this week. I wouldn't pick Nick Dacos this week, and because he's playing Port Adelaide, and Port Adelaide, as we know, the hardest team for defenders to score against, and I think by considerable margin. And he could also cop attention from Willem Drew. I would put money on the fact that I think Drew will go to him. So for me, I would wait this week. I'd see how he goes against Port Adelaide. And then next week, if he goes well, you can bring him in next week into your team. But yeah, I still like the pick if you want to take it on and hope that he goes well again. I do like it because you can also, if he does go well, he's going to be more expensive next week. So why not get on now? So I don't mind the pick. I'm just wary of the matchup. Harry Sheasel, if you didn't have him, I would just be jumping on him. Not really much to say more about him. 3K coaches jumped on him. Yeah, half-back role, 118 points, rising star nomination round 1, fantastic. And everyone needs him in their side. So, Brendan Cox, I don't mind the pick because they've got a nice run of fixtures coming up. So, if you look at their fixtures, they've got your North Melbourne this week. Then, after that, you've got West Coast, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Bulldogs, who we know give up points to defenders. So, I don't mind it because he could make a quick 100, 150k if everything goes to plan. Again, there could be a stinker or two in there, so I don't know if I could personally do it, but the break even's going to be low, is going to make some money, so that isn't the worst pick in the world. I don't mind it. I have looked at it once or twice, that's for sure. Will Day, like the pick as well, 2.4k coach have brought him in. I started with him, but if you didn't start with him, Sydney is a tough matchup there, CG, but low break even. I think he's got a break even of 43. Okay, so it's a bit lower than that. But yeah, 43. He'll make some quick money and he could average 80, 85 best case scenario. Well, not best case scenario. He could average 90 best case scenario. But yeah, good pick. I like him if you didn't have him in round 1. Charlie Constable as well. Good first game. Break even of 10 is going to make good cash. 87 last week. Again, Lockie Weller. I did mention this about Bodie. Lockie Weller, Will Power, Sean Lemons all coming back. That is a bit of a worry for Charlie Constable. And I wouldn't rule out that he unfortunately gets squeezed out this week with Lockie Weller coming back. But let's hope not. Let's hope that he keeps his spot because, yeah, it could be a forced trade for a lot of others. Will Setterfield as well is a pretty good option after 122 last week. Got to remember, it was against Hawthorn. A lot of their midfielders did well. And but then again, he has got a good matchup this week, Gold Coast, so he could go well again. But the thing that's good about him is he's got that 122 that's built into his value. So even if he averages 85, 90 for the next 3-4 weeks, he's still going to go up in price a considerable amount. And you can trade him in a month, 6 weeks, and he could be 150k more than what he currently is, and could be an easy switch to an underpriced premium. So I do like the pick. If I'd already had Tom Green, he would be probably my go-to in the midfield if I already had him. Jason Horne-Francis, another good option as well. I want to see it again because he did have a 40-point quarter in that, and it was against Brisbane, so that's the good thing that he had a 90 against Brisbane. But as I said, one big quarter made it from an average to an okay score to a pretty good score. But I want to see him one more time against Collingwood, and if he ticks the box this week, then I'll definitely be looking at him next week. But I do like the pick this week if you want to jump on. Jared Witts as well also is a popular in for a lot of coaches with the Xerri issue, and after getting 137, I think I'd probably want to be jumping on that as well. So in terms of the most traded out players for the week, so Tom Stewart, 8.3k coach have jumped off, so obviously no surprise. 5 people brought him in. I don't understand. MCL injury, going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. You just have to, it's a must trade. So if you've got him, you must trade him, and you've got a few options. You can go down to Will Day if you need cash, and if you've got a stronger defence, but you can also go, well, it's not really sideways anymore. It's going to cost you about 100k to go up to Sicily, or you can sideways swap to a Dacos or a Young. That's also a play as well. But yeah, Tom Stewart is a must trade. Josh Kelly as well, I think, is a trade. What I'm going to be doing, I think, is putting Hollands on the bench with the E. If he goes 80, 85 or more, I could hold Josh Kelly. And a lot of coaches may do that exact thing as well because he looks so good and he's got a good run coming back if he just misses the one game. If Hollands doesn't do well enough, I'm probably going to go and I'm going to be going down to like a Tom Green. I think a lot of people are going to be going Josh Kelly to Tom Green this week. Rory Laird. Okay, so this is the interesting one. So everyone knows he's my boy. Laird's my boy, right? 4.6k coaches have jumped off, right? So he's down at, 26.5% that he's down? Let's have a look. So what's his ownership? Play overview, that would be the better one. Yeah, 26.5% ownership. It's tough. Okay, so the situation where I would be okay and I'd tick off trading him, right, is if you've got a Xerri and you've got no cash in the bank, right? If you, like, a few coaches did go down. So, for example, Roy he had Xerri, got injured, went down from Laird to a Bonampelli and got that cash and is now able to upgrade him this week, right? For those coaches that didn't do that, that have got no money, going a Laird down to a Tom Green would allow you to get a Xerri up to I'm just trying to think, so what? It's about 240k difference between two. Xerri, where you add 240k on top of him, that gets you to what? 790, so you can get your Sean Darcy. If you've got 40k in the bank, you could get to a Witts. you've got options there that if you wanted to go Laird down and then Xerri up, I would tick that off because it fixes your ruck situation and you can't do much else. I don't mind Goldie as an option for Xerri, but yeah, if you want to fix it up, I can tick that off with Laird. Besides that, though, I know he's got a high break-even. If you've got no issues whatsoever, I don't mind either playing the break-even game because you can pick him up in a few weeks' time for potentially 100k less than what he currently is. But I still am not a big fan of trading him. And the reason is because that was his lowest score since round 3, 2015, right? Completely out at like a blip. He averaged 33 disposals last year. And I think besides yesterday, I think his lowest tally in the last 3 years for disposals was 24. And that was last year against St Kilda when he got tagged, right? I just think he's going to bounce back. Maybe it might not be a 150 this week, but I just think he's going to bounce back over the ton again this week. And I think he's just going to get better and better, and he's just going to bounce back. He's too good a player not to. So, yeah, I would be wary of trading because he could burn you. We've seen premiums burn owners in the past after trading him, so he could go 130 this week and burn him. Just remember, a couple of weeks ago against West Coast in a practice game, we got a 138 without getting out of second gear. Again, practice game, West Coast, I know, but yeah, talked to Laird about Laird too long. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Laird. Liam Jones, now, if he plays, you could make a case for keeping him because there's not much around his price. Break even to 59 is still not like huge. So if he was to go and get a 90 this week against St Kilda, who gave up a truckload of points to Freo defenders last week, you could hold Liam Jones if you've got other pressing issues. But if he is out, which it sounds that it's 50-50 at this stage, they're going to be doing everything they can to get him right. Then if he doesn't play, it's obviously I would. But then again, could it be a situation where you can loot maybe a Cowan and a Wilmot? You could maybe loot the best score out of those two. So it is an interesting conundrum. If he's your only issue, then you get rid of him. But if you've got maybe Xerri, Jones, and Stewart, for example, Xerri and Stewart are the two you get rid of because Liam Jones is the shorter term one. So that is where you do it. But it's interesting. A lot will be able to be answered whether he gets selected or not. Fergus Green, a lot of people are moving him 3.4k. That's probably more just to make the Chandler move. A lot of those pretty much most of those coaches will be going to Chandler. So I don't mind that because you can always jump back on Fergus Green in a few weeks because he only went up 5k. He's got a break even of 20 and he only outscored that by 10 points last week. So you're not going to miss out a lot if he goes well against, so Sydney this week, tough matchup, North Melbourne the week after. If he goes big against North, you can bring him in a couple of weeks because maybe Chandler could get dropped. So you could just do that switch back again. So that is an option there. I don't mind that. As I said, Xerri before, a lot of coaches jump off him. You have to because he's ruled out for a fair period of time. You can't do much with him. As I said, if you've got a Laird, you can always go down and then you can put Xerri up. If you've got cash in the bank, you can go up. If you've got like a Miller or a Tom Powell, someone that you didn't like the look of, you can go them down to a Chandler and you can use that money on top of Xerri. Goldie's the other guy that I don't mind switching Xerri to because Goldie's going to be the number one ruck. He's not going to have Xerri breathing down his neck. And we know Goldie is a durable ruckman. So I know he is obviously a fair bit older, but I don't mind Goldie as an underpriced option that if you can't get to anything else and you want, say, Tom Green as well, Goldie's not the worst option. So someone to consider. Lockie Cowan, a few people jumping off. I think he holds his spot. And then Ollie Holland's here as well. I think they both hold their spot. I don't think they're going to get dropped. Again, we'll know tonight with team selections if they get dropped. But I would be I wouldn't worry about trading them out unless you've got absolutely no issue whatsoever. But going a Cowan to a Bodie's a bit of a pointless trade in my opinion because Bodie could get dropped and Cowan might not be dropped, but if he is dropped, he might only miss a week and come back in. So I wouldn't be making that switch. Liam Baker as well, only 55 last week. People jumping off him. Just a mid-price that didn't quite work out. So I do agree with that trade. And then you've got a few guys here like Bailey Lowry going to a Chandler probably. He might get dropped this week. You've got a Noah Long who, again, coach is just moving to a Chandler. And then Andrew McGrath, few people jumping off of. And I can definitely understand why 81 average. I just think if you haven't got any other issues, then feel free. He's probably not going to be that as good as like a Dacos or a Young or a Sicily or any of those guys. But he's got Gold Coast this week, St Kilda the week after. I think he could have a couple of good weeks. Probably could go 90 plus in back-to-back weeks. So I don't think he's the worst issue in your team. So I would probably just hold. But if you've got no other issues, I can definitely see trading him out because there are a lot of mouths to feed back there for Essendon. So the other guy on this list that's probably a little bit down, I know that that's trade outs, but so trade-ins I forgot to mention as well. The other guy I do like as a trade-in, Jack Zeeble. So he had that half-back role like he did in 2021 where he averaged over 100. Priced at $5.72, the exact same as Horn Francis. is definitely a watch. You could bring him in this week because he looked really good. I'm probably going to watch for one more week to see how he goes against Freo. And if he does well, he's got Hawthorn at Utah's the week after, which could be a big one for Jax. He could go 120, 130 plus. So I would be looking at him the week after. I'll watch him this week unless some carnage gets thrown up and I need to bring him in. So yeah, there you go. They're pretty much the trade options. As I mentioned on my round one review yesterday, my trades at this stage I'm looking at, it's a little bit shifted actually. So I'm still looking at doing the Chandler move, but I think I'm going to Fergus Green up to him. And I think I'm going Josh Kelly, obviously down to Tom Green, but I'm keeping Tom Powell. I think Tom Powell scores better than those rookies I'll be playing on field this week, and I can always trade him next week. I'd rather be stuck with a Tom Powell than stuck with one of those rookies F6 on field. So, but best case scenario, he does really well, and I can keep him. But hopefully, even if he does well, I don't cop any carnage. Hopefully this week, fingers crossed, and I can always trade him next week and do something there, maybe to a Jack's Evil. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to the Trade Talk. Again, as I said, we'll be here every Wednesday going through the most popular ins and outs and my thoughts and opinions on those players. And yeah, and what trades you guys should be looking at. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. I think we passed 750 subscribers yesterday, I think, as well. So thank you very much for the support there. We've got 246, I think. I think we're 754 at the moment. 246 subscribers to go till we hit that 1,000 mark. So if you can subscribe and help me reach that goal, very much appreciate it. Also, like the video if you enjoyed the video, and if you like the Wednesday Trade Talk, let me know in the comments below what your trades are this week, and let me know if you've got any questions for your trades as well. Follow all my social media links in the description below, and then also turn notifications on so don't miss when I go live or upload content in the future. So I'll catch you guys later on this evening for the daily news recap. So until then, I'm out. Cheers.